do you need to help us? There's a fire in Hereford House.
This is a training exercise, but the dangers being tested are deadly.
Hi, for the London Fire Brigade.
Trapped inside the 9th floor of a tower block, a volunteer who needs to be rescued. The London Fire Brigade is about to show us the new ways it deals with emergencies in high-rise buildings. First up, its new ladder, one of the longest in Europe. The first to be rescued, a dummy that was leaning out of the window. This recovery wasn't possible during the Grenfell Tower fire, which killed 72 people.
Grenfell is an unprecedented fire in its magnitude for the London Fire Brigade. And what we are doing here is practicing the techniques of gaining access to the building, fighting the fire from within the building, and rescuing people that may be trapped due to the effects of a building not behaving as it should do, like Grenfell.
Hovering in the air, a drone, giving commanders an eye in the sky with a heat-sensitive camera able to locate people. But the changes are not just on the outside. Inside, firefighters have new equipment to help rescue residents from the blinding smoke. Rescues were rare at Grenfell. Firefighters had no breathing equipment to give to people. Now they have this, smoke hoods that keep out the toxic fumes. And firefighter deployments within the building are now digitised and computerised. Compare this organisation to what happened at Grenfell. These photos, first shown at the inquiry, reveal how vital rescue information was scribbled on the wall of the tower. When there's a fire in a tower block, the advice is still to stay in your home. But as we saw at Grenfell, that doesn't always work out. Now crews are deployed and monitored electronically.
So this is the FSG app, which shows the live calls that are coming in. This column details how many people are inside the premises. This column details if they're adults, children and elderly, the location that they're inside and the conditions.
How useful is this?
It's vital. It passes the information really quickly. It cuts down the information stream and the passing of the information over a huge amount of people, and everyone on the incident ground can see it instantly.
This afternoon, London's top firefighter, Andy Roe, welcomed the Mayor to see the Brigade's progress. All these changes are a direct result of the Grenfell fire. But as the inquiry has heard, there were many deadly warnings before 2017. Particularly Lakanal House was a major warning, and yet the fire brigade didn't change then. Is this too little too late?
No, I don't think that I would view it that way. What I would say is we've done the right thing in fundamentally altering our policies, our training, our procedures, our equipment to meet that threat in London. I think, as I acknowledged in the inquiry, all of it should have been seen and should have been done quicker. But we're here now.
So we acknowledge that...
Edward Daffan escaped the 16th floor of Grenfell Tower. He welcomes the Brigade's changes, but points to the evacuation plans of disabled residents, which has not changed.
Until the government implement the recommendations of phase 1 of the public inquiry and produce legislation that requires building owners to carry out personal emergency evacuation plans for their disabled residents, we are in exactly the same situation as we were prior to June 2017.
The Brigade is changing, but 5 years after Grenfell, not all residents are safe.
Yes, Rags, how would you compare the service compared to 2017?
I think they've taken several big steps in the right direction. Grenfell's been described as a failure of evacuations, and all things that we saw today are making residents safer. There were 29 recommendations from the Grenfell inquiry. They've implemented 26. The main one not implemented so far is better radios, but they're working on that. And one big thing that the inquiry asked why didn't do before Grenfell was a training exercise to evacuate residents from a high-rise tower. That still has not happened 5 years on, but they're planning to.